Hey, Coach Kyle here, and this is a little bit different of a video. I kind of got the idea to do this through yesterday's journaling, and so I have my journal and some notes, and I thought, gosh, this would maybe be a really good topic for people going into the new year, and I decided to call it, how to not hate yourself in 2022. And I've done a lot over the last few years, especially, to really become the person who I want to become. I've suffered from depression and binge eating, and I've overcome them, and I've learned some things along the way, and I want to pass those on to you. And so I have three things that I think I want to talk about, and two that I do really well, and one that I could do better. And it is to journal, to give, and to ask. So I'm going to go through each of those as quickly as possible to make this video as concise as possible. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments on any of these or suggestions for fellow viewers, please drop them in the comments below. I love having some good discussions with people who watch my videos. And so the first one is I'm going to talk about journaling, and I have my current journal right here. This is the Clear journal, Clear Habit Tracking, and it's from James Clear of Atomic Habits. And this is, other than the cover being this weird material that collects cat hair, this is the best journal that I've used so far, and it's mostly because it has in it what I used to do in my old journal, which was fully blank. It has templates. It has those things templated in here, which is just a little nicer. And so in here there is habit tracking, there's a daily memory, or daily anything. You can do whatever you want. And there's habit tracking, there's bullet journaling in the middle. And so a few things I want to talk about with journaling are, one of the first things I did a couple of years ago was called the Eisenhower matrix, where you make a cross in a page, and you have things, you have four quadrants, and you write out anything. When I originally did it, it was for work tasks. So like, so is it a task that you have to do, that you can delegate, that you can do later, or that you should delete? And this was game changing with my work. I ended up hiring a virtual assistant to help me with some things like posting these YouTube videos. It's been super helpful to have somebody help me. And I got rid of, I started thinking about things that I was doing in work that I don't actually need to do. They don't help my business that much. And you can do the same thing with life. Write down over a week things you do. Just make a list and then break them up into, are they things that need to be done? Are they things you can delegate, like mowing the lawn? Some research finds that people buying back time to do things they enjoy is a great investment. So can you pay somebody to mow your lawn once a week, so you don't have to do it, or shovel your sidewalk, stuff like that? Is it stuff that you can do later, that's not important? They don't have to be on your to-do list right now. Or is it things you should delete? Like, are there things that you do every day that you shouldn't be doing, like spending 2 hours watching Netflix every night versus getting stuff done? And it's a good way to see what you're doing and maybe see what you don't need to be doing quite so much of. So that's been something really nice. Also, you can journal, like Marcus Aurelius. He journaled where he was writing to himself as reminders. He would write things that he wanted himself to keep in mind, to do, to become. So that's an interesting way to journal. My niece told me once that, she's like, why would I journal? Why would I write to myself? Well, it's to stress things that are good and to remind you of things. I tell my clients the runners I coach, that I don't just have them, I don't just tell them what to do with training, but I ask them about it for feedback. And that's what journaling is. It's you're giving yourself feedback on life. And habit tracking has been very helpful for me. So the journal back here has a habit tracker, and I have my habits, days, and I just check when I do them. And they're usually things that I want to do pretty much every day. And it just, I don't feel bad when I don't do them. That's the thing with habit tracking, is if you don't do them, you might feel bad. But I use these as ways to, if I, want to take Banjo for a walk, I can mark it if I did it, and it makes me feel good to check it off. But if I haven't done it, sometimes I'll mark it, and then I'm more likely to go do it. So it's helpful in that way. And actually, one thing that I did with my journaling is I stopped chewing my lips for the first time ever. And I've chewed my lips for as long as I can remember, and I've wanted to quit for as long as I can remember. And I've tried and tried and tried, just like forcing myself to quit. And I had never been able to not chew my lips for probably more than 2 days in a row in my entire life, that adult life. And I'm on day 75 now of not chewing my lips, and I don't even consider myself a person that chews their lips and is trying to stop chewing them. I just don't chew them anymore. And how I did it was, going back to September, I would write, today I'm not going to chew my lip, or day 17, no lip biting. And that's literally all I did. I took it one day at a time and I wrote it down. And, in the past I've wrote down, today I'm going to, like you're writing down a short visualization for my work day. I've done that before. It's just really nice to journal. And the last thing I'll talk about journaling, maybe, is I like to use the Ivy Lee method of the to-do list. So, like for yesterday, Friday, I wanted to do my final surge client check-ins and update 3 calendars. And then I need to do this and this and this. And if I do something, I cross it off the list. And if I don't get to it, it moves to the next day. And the final thing with journaling, I do a little paragraph on some sort of topic, and currently I'm reading Daily Laws by Robert Greene. You might know him if you know of Ryan Holiday and the Daily Stoic. They're kind of similar ideas, where it's a book this thick, and every day has a historical tidbit, something to learn from somebody, and it's been really nice. So I'll journal on that. I journal about Flannery O'Connor and Virginia Woolf, and what I can take from their experiences. And then I do a thorn blossom rose, and a thorn is something that this is an end of the day thing. A thorn is something that didn't go super well that day. A blossom is something that happened, that is something to look forward to in the future, something good that will bring good things in the future, hopefully. And then a rose is just something good that happened on that day, like, oh, it was a beautiful 55-degree day in December, holy cow. And so that's my journaling practice, and it's been game-changing for me. And if you have any questions or comments on journaling, please let me know. But that's been something that I think I will do for the rest of my life. And the second thing that I want to talk about for, feeling better in 2022 is to give. And this is something that we can definitely do better at. So, one of the best ways to feel good is to make other people feel good, to help other people. And I'm really happy that my job as a running coach, I help people do something that brings them joy. I help them do it better. So that's very satisfying, that my job is satisfying. It's fulfilling. And I do a lot of work with the local runners club. I organize a group run every week. I'm organizing the Jingle Bell Run. I've worked with them at races. I've volunteered at the runners club for years, and that again is really nice. But I think I want to my wife agrees. We want to take our giving up a notch for 2022. And I think what we're going to do is every month we're going to donate 5% of our income to an organization. And I was kind of looking at like how to write off donations, and I think it'd be good to donate locally to companies, so I can write off the donation for a business expense or something, or just a tax write-off. But we're also giving, and so I think we're going to start with 5% of income for that month towards something. And so I think we decided that since Banjo is a Christmas puppy, we fostered his mom from the Humane Society, and she gave birth to Banjo and his brothers and sisters in my office on Christmas morning 4 years ago, almost 3 years and a week ago, 3 years and 51 weeks ago. So December's income, so I'm going to donate 5%, so it'd be like $350. That will go towards the Black Hills Humane Society. And so every month we can pick a different organization to donate our incomes to. And so, the other option is donating time. And that's, we have a 6-week-old. And so I wish I would have gotten my button gear, and maybe done a better job of donating more time before having a baby. But it is what it is. Money is easier to donate, I guess. So it is what it is. I'd like to maybe donate more time, because it's more of an actionable give. And this is partially a little, what's the word? It's a little selfish, because the act of giving makes me feel better, but I also want to give to make others feel better as well. But it's also partially to make me feel better. But that's the nice thing about giving, is it makes both figure out to donate time or money in 2022. It will make you feel better. My wife and her sisters did last Christmas, I think they did they did secret little surprise things for people, for businesses and people around the communities. Like their entire family got in on it, like aunts and stuff. And if somebody knew somebody who deserved something, whether it was just a Starbucks gift card or a gift basket, they kind of gave some people some surprises. And so, whatever you can do to help somebody's day, even if it's just putting a quarter in a parking meter that's about to expire, you're making somebody's day a little better by giving something of yourself. And so any way you can do that, to be mindful of doing that, will benefit lots of people. And the third thing I want to talk about is to ask. And if there's one big thing I've learned over the last few years, it's the importance of asking for help. My depression got really bad right after COVID hit. I'd been having the best year ever. COVID 2020 was still, I think, my peak year. It was my peak depression year, maybe, for a while as well. But also, it was just the best year. I kind of hate saying that the first year of COVID was my best, but it was a good year. And I did hit a really dark depression, and it's something I've been battling for years, but it got really bad after COVID hit that summer, I think. I had spent almost a month in Guatemala, just living at a hostel. I was making good money, more money than I'd ever made before in my life, and coaching was going amazing. And I came back and I was just depressed. And I think it would have happened with COVID anyway, I don't know, or without COVID hitting the world. But I, for the first time ever, got a counselor, and I wish I would have done it years ago. And that's something that hey Jasper, look out bud, you gotta get down. You're shaking the camera. Something that I wish I would have done years ago is hired a counselor. And I tell people when they're thinking about hiring a running coach, like, don't wish you would have done it 6 months from now. You're 6 months behind. And I was years behind with potential happiness. And I'm a running coach with a degree in nutrition, yet I've hired nutritionists and running coaches and business coaches and Spanish teachers. I was working with a Spanish tutor down in Guatemala, and pretty much every time I've been glad I made that investment in myself. And so, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to improve, whatever you want to stop doing, there are people out there to help you do it. And anything that you can do to to make your life a little better is gonna be worth it. So I'm gonna leave you with that. That's my third one. Is if you want to run a marathon well, or lose some weight, or learn to play the violin, getting help doing something that makes you feel better is a good investment. And the last thing I wrote down is that I said when it comes to getting out of funks or journaling to make yourself feel better, the funny thing is that we do all these things to learn something new, to work on our depression, to improve our habits, and then we stop doing them. So the most important thing is do these things that make you feel good, but then keep doing them after you feel good. That's part of what this habit tracking is helping me with, the journaling. Keep doing that which makes you feel good once you feel good. It's kind of ironic how that we don't do that all the time. So that's what I wanted to say. I hope you found this helpful. I'm not doing any editing of this video or whatnot. I just kind of journaled this out yesterday, and I thought it would be nice, timely to talk about it now. So I hope you found it helpful, and thank you for watching.